Hello everybody, welcome to Sports Federation TV. It's of course Friday night and we talk to you about what's happening in sport in the Western Cape. The Sports Federation TV show looks after the sports federations across all 6 districts. Of course, Cape Winelands, the Cape Town area, the West Coast, Central Karoo, Eden, and of course Overberg, the 6 districts that makes up sport in the Western Cape. It's been an exciting couple of weeks with lots of different awards. Tonight we'll be speaking to Mr. Lorenzo, who is of course the chairperson of the Cape Winelands Sports Council. They recently had their awards, and we'll be speaking to Mr. Richard Buckley, the chairperson of the Cape Town Sports Council. And folks, do not go away, because this evening we also are joined by the president of SASCOC, Mr. Gideon Sam, who's of course the president of all matters sports related in South Africa, including Olympic matters. So stay tuned, because that comes up a little bit later, and we're extremely proud to have him on the show. Starting off first, immediately, we'll speak about the Cape Winelands Awards that was held last night in Worcester. What an incredible function. And to tell me more about that, the chairperson of the Cape Winelands, Mr. Lorenzo Arendse. Lorenzo, welcome to Sports Federation TV.
Good evening, JP. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I must say I'm a little bit exhausted. Your event last night was a great success.
No, definitely. I'm also quite exhausted, but it was quite fun. I'm quite humbled being able to, share the podium with such elite athletes now. And especially elite meaning also now that with the administrators that were on board now quickly, that were nominated, were some of the best in the country, not only in the Western Cape. You
didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this. I think you had about a month to put it all together.
No, definitely. We started this whole process in mid-October, but going through the paperwork. But actually, end of October we started, but definitely.
Yeah, but just tell us a little bit about that in terms of the process that you would go through, and we still want to get into a little bit about the Cape Winelands district. We need to find out a little bit more from you about who you guys are and what it is that you do out there. But the awards last night. You called for. I heard that you called for nominations across all the federations. Just talk us through the process from inception to podium.
JP, normally we start this whole process in May, and we start sending out the communication. But this time, yes, we start sending it out in October. Yeah. Meaning we send out the documents to the different federations that we have, where they can nominate in the different categories, their athletes or administrators. We were privileged enough now that we had 148 nominations.
So do they nominate in different categories?
Yes, we have 25 categories, of which 19 is more individual achievements, like in sportsmen and those kind of stuff, or newcomer of the year. And then we have the other categories would be your team of the year, federation of the year, and also your, the other, like your Rian Lewis, which is your fair play award. Yeah.
One of the other awards that you had sort of the President's Award, is that?
That was quite fun. I've seen it now that if you weigh it up, there's lots of these young athletes that have achieved a lot the past year. But then you have the other, let's call it athletes, which is a bit older, but if you weigh them up now, their achievement is the same level, but they can't, compete against these younger guys now. So I've created this President Award to acknowledge the achievements of these guys that actually also sacrifice all this time and effort and time in the gym to achieve these successes. So yeah. And it was quite nice. The guy's smile, receiving that was quite nice.
Now, I must say, I was incredibly impressed. I think everybody loved the evening. The fact that people walked away with an end-of-year good feeling medal or a plaque or a certificate. Everybody felt like their efforts and their time and their contribution to sport during 2016 was recognized. From coaches to administrators to volunteers. Even some folks who sadly had passed away were recognized. It was an incredible evening. Just tell us a little bit about the actual logistical setup. I mean, you've got to organize medals and certificates. You've got to organize food and catering, or just give us a rundown of all the work that you had to do to get to the night.
JP, it's always quite fun. If you sit in the chair and you have to decide the date of the awards, that's the easiest part. From there now, deciding the venue is the difficult part now, because the Cape Winelands, if you look at the area, it's quite a huge area. Yeah. And you need to decide upon a venue that would actually suit all the athletes, when it comes to traveling and stuff. But so yeah, we had to go through the process. We have to now involve our partners, and our partners in this awards were the award ceremony were the Cape Winelands District Municipality and the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport. So now everybody needs to come sit around the table, and we need to discuss venue. We need to discuss procurement. We need to discuss this whole adjudication process, because again, you sit with 25 categories, which you have to choose, say, 3 nominees each, and you have hundreds of nominations coming in.
Yeah.
So that's a difficult part. You need to discuss all the criteria beforehand, before you go, the process actually starts. Where
you got to work out budget, how much you're going to spend on the food, what type of, and you got to look at the menu.
Exactly. The nice part of looking at the menu, you have to go do some testers. So that's the part I like, doing the testers on the menu.
Tell us about some. In fact, we've got a couple of photographs here. Let's have a look at some of the pictures here, folks. We've got a picture here, of course. The gentleman over there. Talk us through this. Who's this gentleman?
That's Mr. Henry Paulse. He's our program director, the MC. But he's also, part of karate. And, I'm saying he handled the whole evening quite nicely because he knows the athletes. He knows the sporting fraternity quite well. And, yeah, definitely good.
All right, another picture we've got here. Of course, this is yourself. And who's the lady in the picture?
I think we should start with the sexy guy standing on with the black and white now. So, yeah. But next to me is the executive mayor of the Cape Winelands District Municipality, Dr. Elna van Slicht.
Yeah.
And again, I want to start by saying that as a partner, they came on board and they said, the first question is, where can we help? Where can we assist? And that's a nice part now, where you know that partners are open.
Yeah. Very important. I mean, when you talk about the partners, the typical partners are municipalities and government. Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport was, of course, instrumental in this process as well, from a funding point of view, procurement point of view, the planning perspective.
And again, when you do these kind of events, there's legislation, there's all these rules in place. So it's nice to start with a partner so that you can understand their procurement processes. So you can actually, respect it, and by these processes, you get the answers, you get the results that you wanted, or you get to the quality event that you want.
But the athletes themselves, a wide variety of athletes, and looking at their accolades, if you like, and that you guys had put up on the PowerPoint, it was clear that these are not just Mickey Mouse athletes. There are some serious contenders here. World champions, Commonwealth champions, athletes that have gone to the Olympics, Paralympic champions. I mean, you had some really top-notch athletes there.
Exactly, and that made the adjudication process more so difficult. Because you see, we in the Cape Winelands are blessed with having the best of athletes.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, and we've got Ilse Hayes, who's who won 2 silver medals at the Paralympics. We've got Goldie Fuchs, who's at the moment first in the world, but who's ninth at the Paralympics now. And more importantly, Ernest van Dijk, who won a gold medal at the Paralympics now. So I'm saying, you sit with all these guys. Leonard Bailey, who in II now is the world champion in shot put and in javelin.
So you had that's of course intellectually impaired, world champion in the Cape Winelands in 2 different disciplines. I mean, there must be a massive sense of pride amongst the people in the Cape Winelands.
Definitely, and again, that's why I'm saying I'm humbled, being able to stand next to them and see the appreciation in their face. I'm saying that they're actually being recognized within their district now.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that. You obviously are on the cutting edge, so you see these athletes often. Do you think it was an eye-opener for the rest of the folks? It was obviously a good sharing moment between different sporting codes, because you might not always have judo in the same room as karate and karate in the same room as athletics. And for the first time they get together, they actually see who the other provincial, national or world champions are that have also done well and worn the colors of the Cape Winelands.
No, definitely. We when it comes to Federation of the Year, we had 24 nominations out of our 35 let's call it applications now.
Yeah.
But the 3 standing at the podium, out of those 3, there are 21 world or gold medal winners. Which is, how do you decide who's the winner? And I'm saying, and especially, there's Commonwealth gold medalists now. Between those now, there's the kickboxing champion, the world champion, which makes it marvelous. But going forward now, again, we need to give more exposure to these athletes.
Tell us a little bit more about Federation of the Year. Who was the Federation of the Year and why?
Federation of the Year, I'm saying, when it comes to them now, it's not only about the athlete's achievement. It's about good governance in sport. That's important. I'm saying, we look at the criteria and we say, what did you do not only for the athlete, but how can you report back to the sporting fraternity that you've actually governed your sport, within the legislation now. So we had kickboxing, karate, and judo on the podium. and it was extremely difficult for the 10, person adjudication committee, and they decided at the end of the day, the winner of those awards were all 3 federations, which was quite fantastic.
So you just gave them all.
Yeah, and again, people appreciated this, the whole idea behind it now.
Yeah. What's next for Cape Winelands? In fact, before we go there, just tell us a little bit more about the Cape Winelands district itself. It used to be the Boerland municipal district. It's now had a name change as the Cape Winelands area. Just tell us a little bit more about the district, the kind of the towns and the location and geographics of the space.
Following demarcation, JP, I'm saying there's a whole Boerland had to split between the West Coast, the Overberg, and the Cape Winelands. So which actually makes it better to manage now. So Cape Winelands basically starts in the Langeberg area, which is your Robertson area. Then you go to Witzenberg, which is your Ceres, Prince Alfred Hamlet area. Yeah. Your Breda Valley, which is your Worcester, which is quite in the central. And then Drakensberg, which is your Paarl, Wellington, Gouda, Saron area. And then on the other side, it's your Stellenbosch, which is again your Franschhoek and Stellenbosch.
Are the federations in the, and I think we must just remind folks what a federation is. We've got this federation TV show, but I don't think people often understand what a federation is. A federation is, for the benefit of the viewers out there, a federation is, for example, Cape Winelands Judo, or Western Province Karate, or KZN tennis. These are the provincial or district federations. Then you have national federations such as South African Judo or South African Table Tennis. Those are your national federations. So folks, for those of you that are watching this, of course the definition of a federation is essentially a sporting organization. Are the federations, the sports themselves, the sports codes, for lack of a better word, are they starting to get any investment? Do we need more? I mean, I know we always need more sponsorship, but are the corporates starting to get involved, or do we still have a bit of distance to go?
We still have. And again, it's difficult. If you look at it, about a year or so ago, we only had 17 federations part of the Cape Winelands structure. We now increased to 35, and we included now sport codes like surfing. We included sport codes like sailing. But now it becomes important because the Cape Winelands, although we're quite privileged with a lot of farms and a lot of nice holiday resorts, we don't have the sea next. You know what I'm saying? So these guys need to travel to Bloubergstrand. So yes, traveling is difficult, but again, these type of events like the sport awards, that is what gives us exposure. This is what we can take away and say, this is the talent that we have. Last night we had the business chambers also there at the awards. So we want to show them these are the talent, but we need your support. We need to you need to buy in. We had the municipalities there to give them more. It's an eye opener to show them the amount of sport codes that we have. So hopefully in future we'll get more support from all these entities.
Let's look upwards for a second here. You're a district within the provincial structure. You obviously have to work closely with the provincial structure, and you have to work once again then going up a level to the SASCOC structure, which is the national structure. And incidentally, we've got the president of SASCOC, Gideon Sam, here in a few minutes' time is going to come and join us. How do you work as a district? How do you work with the provincial structure?
JP, I first want to start now by saying last night at the awards, to have Gideon Sam there, I'm saying, which is again the national president, having him there is actually the first step from our side to give us exposure to for district sports. So I want to thank him also. I know you will be on the show later, but I want to thank him also now. Hopefully he doesn't go home late tonight. But I'm saying from the Cape Winelands district is an affiliated member or is a member of the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation now. So we as the chairperson sit on the executive also of the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation, where we can report back and we can actually get input from all the other executive members, all the other districts, and we can support each other with new ideas and possibilities, because sometimes you have a lack of experience now, and when talking to other districts, you gain this experience, you gain these answers, and you gain solutions to what you basically sit with daily now.
There's also quite a bit of policy that comes out. For example, the transformation charter. That'll come from a national level to a provincial level and down to district level. So you've all got to be complying with that and then rolling it out at a district level from different commissions and charters and academies and high performance. It's all about being on the same page.
Yeah. We have all these commissions, that's part of our structure also, like the Women and Girls, like your Colours Commission. And the whole thing is that coming from the provincial side, actually guide us how to operate in our commissions, like the Colours Commission, when to award colours, how to award colours. With the women and girls, together with the Western Cape and all the other districts now, we actually can have, instead of everybody individually have their projects now, we can have together sit around the table and say, how can we do more for women and girls in sport? And that's a nice thing now. We can liaise more, network more, and assist each other.
What are your biggest challenges for yourself as the leader of as the chairperson of the council? What are your biggest challenges? Is it the people? Is it the budget? Or where do you see it for yourself?
Looking at the current scenario in the Cape Winelands, again following demarcation, the whole change over from Boland to Cape Winelands, there's still some entities that hold on to the past. So it's basically a mindset. You need to change the mindset of some people to come on board and understand the reality, but understand the positives and the benefits behind the Cape Winelands. So that's the one thingy. But also now, in the Cape Winelands, the area that we cover is so huge at the moment now. It becomes costly to go to visit all these events, or to see all these sporting codes, and for our athletes also now. So to find funding is the first issue that we have.
Funding,
and again, to get all the role players around the table, like the municipalities, like DCAS, and the from civil society and the private entities, get them around the table and say, this is what we going forward. This is what we need. How can you assist us?
Yeah. Lorenzo Arendse, chairperson of the Cape Winelands Sports Council. Thank you very much for joining us on Sports Federation TV. As you know, this show is your show, so we look forward to having you back here, and of course, lots of your federations coming onto the show.
JP, from our side, thank you. Thank you again for your input in the Cape Winelands now, and we know definitely this show now gives us exposure, gives us name out there, and this is what we as the Cape Winelands need. We need to get our name out there and show to people we've got the talent. I mean, look at the Luvo. We've got so many talent there. We thought, okay, fine, we'll rent him out. You know what I'm saying, to the other. So yeah, thank you from our side, and once again, next week I'll be back. If you invite me, I'll be here.
Always. Looking forward to it. All right, folks. Sports Federation TV, of course, looking after the federations in the Western Cape across all of the various districts. And we talk sport, but we also focus quite heavily on the administration of the sport. Coming back after the break, we'll be joined by another chairperson. Richard Buckley is the chairperson of the Cape Town Sports Council. And don't forget, stick around, because a little bit later in the show, we'll be joined by the president of SASCOC, Mr. Gideon Sam. You can find out firsthand what it means to administer sport in South Africa and go to the Olympics and compete in world championships. And sometimes it's not always about what you read in the newspaper. Tonight you get it face to face. Back in a sec.